I'm gonna prove objectively that the last 15 minutes of Alien Romulus is not only scarier than you think, but it's better, and that the creature at the end of it is not shit, and that the ending is not shit, and that is actually more important for the alien lore, mythology, and movie quality than you think. A lot of people still hate this. A lot of people are divided. The fans are divided about this ending, yeah? I made this video explaining why I'm defending the movie and why it is actually good, and still people are saying, no, that ending was shit though. To the ones who hate the ending, you have your opinion. I respect it. You have the right to it. But I strongly disagree with it. This video, I'm going to prove to you that you're wrong. It's time to dispel all these fake allegations about the movie being a shit ending. And, by the way, you might be wondering, Zaffy, what was with the fucking thumbnail? What do you mean by the Antichrist? Well, I'm going to show you exactly what the hell I mean, because it's not just me going full schizo trying to defend this movie, because I am going to shill for this movie until my balls drop off, that's for sure. But it's not just me going crazy. I'm going to show you why my theory is actually freaking correct. Brief spoiler warning. You need to have seen this movie by now. If you haven't, skip this video, come back and see it, or watch my other videos. Don't watch it just yet, all right? Let's enter hell, all right? Look at that. But look at that. We're such a pretty guy. Such a good-looking man, eh? All right, let's get to the first criticism people have with the final act of this movie. It's a copycat of everything we've seen. It's the same old shit, the secret third act where we have a final confrontation with the alien or something on the ship that we didn't expect. It's the same shit, and then we blow it out into space and beat it that way. I'm not going to actually disagree with that. Yes, it follows the same trend that all alien movies do, that final third act. Here's the thing though, the people making this criticism confuse me a little bit, because these are the same people saying Covenant and Prometheus were so garbage. We need to go back to formula. Let's go back to the roots that made this movie great, the space horror movie, and we need to keep it like the old ways. And now it is exactly like the old ways, and we're still finding a way to complain. Well, here's the thing. It does do something a little bit new. It introduces a new creature, and it ties in the pathogen in a new way that we haven't seen before, especially when it comes to the timeline of the way that we've seen it. Now, you could say it's derivative of other movies. Did it still work in creeping you the fuck out? I think it did for most people. It didn't scare you? Okay, I'm gonna address that fucking criticism too, because I think some of you either are capping about that, or maybe you just have higher tolerances of pain than anyone else. But regardless, that means no movie can scare you then. And to be honest, let's say you didn't have the final third act, secret third act, like you did in every other alien movie. What would you get? We shoot up aliens. We use the anti-gravity, which was a great sequence, but that's it? She injected herself with a pathogen and you don't want to see where that goes? You just want to see xenomorphs and that's it? That would have been the same fucking movie over and over again. The third act of this movie is a one that goes away from the xenomorphs and the facehuggers and does something different. And it's still not enough for y'all. Let's talk about the expectations of what you guys wanted, alright? You guys, oh shit, sorry. You guys wanted some, for the ones who were saying, oh, that creature at the end, that's not what I wanted. I wanted some xenomorph looking humanoid creature. So once again, the people saying that this is it's so much like all the other alien movies, you want to go back to xenomorph again and again and again? Do you just want to see a xenomorph enter the ship, or some xenomorph-like baby? We've seen the neomorphs. We've seen the goddamn hybrid at the end of Resurrection. You just want to see that shit again? I don't understand it. The creature design doesn't make sense. It looks so crappy. Why does it look like that? Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Let me get to why it makes sense. All right? I understand that every time a pathogen enters someone or mutates someone, they start to form a xenomorph-like structure. Let me ask you, how long did it take between her injecting herself, the mother, injecting herself in the neck, and the baby being born? How long did it take? It took probably between 10 and 20 minutes, right? A 9-month period, a typical 9-month period for regular pregnancy, took 10 to 20 minutes when it came to birthing this fetus, right? This baby started to grow. And it only had, when you first see it on screen in this shot, it only has this creature here. Holy shit, this thing is scary. This creature here has like 7 minutes of screen time for the end of the movie. So between 10 and 20 minutes, it grew from a little cell, clump of cells that are microscopic, to a fetus in 10 to 20 minutes. And we only saw it fully grow for 7 minutes. It was still growing when this sequence was happening. How do we know it wouldn't have formed into a xenomorph-like structure? Remember, everything else so far has formed into the back hedging out like that. It crawling in this. It started to grow spikes on the back. We're not so sure. This is not the final level of this being. This being has probably entered his teens, not even his adult form. That adult form is probably more xenomorph-like than we know, and that is a scary fucking thought. And that itself is more terrifying than any other fucking alien movie, in my opinion. That whole third act felt so convenient, the way it grew so fast. How did it grow so fast? Look at all the pathogen variants there are, okay? The pathogen is a biological evolutionary accelerant. It's made to speed up growth to the point of dastardly mutation. When the first Prometheus engineer sacrificed himself and ingested it, it altered his chemical being within seconds to the point of disintegration. The same way when David unleashed it onto all the engineers. Where is it? When David unleashed it onto all the engineers on their homeworld, it destroyed all of them within seconds, right? Because it was meant to kill. It was biologically meant to kill. All right? Now, when the engineer first ingested it, that was argued to be a different variant. The first variant, the blood of the creature they worshipped on the mural, a xenomorph-like shaped being. And they've been trying to replicate it and put it onto themselves to enhance their evolution, to speed it up. That's the purpose of the pathogen. Every time a pathogen has been ingested, by just one drop of the variant, it infected Holloway and caused him to impregnate her with a squid facehugger. And that infection took place in 1 day. The xenomorphs, they grow within hours, right? The reason that this being accelerated within seconds and minutes is because Rook took the initial DNA of the xenomorph and reverse engineered it to the point where he got a new form of the pathogen that was already being made. And he replicated it and made his own variant, one that could be used to cure the sickness, diseases of men and enhance them within real time, within seconds. So, think about it like this. This chick, it's confirmed that her cousin is the father of the child, right? This might be a stretch, but they're cousins. Maybe they're first cousins and they fucked. What happens when cousins fuck biologically? Sometimes the kid might have genetic defects, right? Maybe the kid had a physical defect or maybe some other bad defect, and the serum that she ingested, since it's used as an accelerant to heal human beings fast, it started retroactively working its way into the child instead of her. Because the child is the one with the defects, maybe because they're cousins and shit, and it's inbreeding. So it was healing the child, but it caused a mutation as a result and turned him into that fucking deformity. Alright? That is why it took place so fast. It's meant to be an accelerant, and it's been replicated from one variant to one variant to one variant, and it gets faster each time. Now let's talk about the worst criticism. This creature is so shit. Alien Resurrections hybrid was better. I've actually heard people saying that. They think this motherfucker over here is scarier than that thing. Okay? You're gonna honestly tell me that if you saw this thing outside your bedroom at night with that lighting, you wouldn't shit yourself? Bro, I'd rather throw myself out my window than be stuck in a room with that thing for 5 minutes. This thing, I'm gonna be honest, he looks like a disgusting, cute, morphed, inbred goblin. He doesn't look like a scary creature. He literally does look like a human crossed with a xenomorph, but that doesn't look good. Putting human flesh on a xenomorph just makes it less scary. There's no way that's as scary as a xenomorph. Look at this thing. If you think this is not scary, you're coping. Or you're capping. That's the only conclusion I have. If you saw this thing eating something like that with its mouth open and its tongue out, eating a baby or some shit, it's sucking on his mother's breasts. Listen, this creature wants to suck Isabel Merced's breasts. I don't blame it. I don't blame it at all. I'm envious of this thing in this position, but look at it. If you were to see your mother getting killed by this thing, you would want to self-delete. Okay? That is the scariest thing. That is one of the scariest looking things I've ever seen in my life. And if you're saying, oh, that wasn't scary, I laughed, the alien, you can't say you weren't scared of this, but at the same breath say this scared you, or this was a better design. Those are two contradictory statements. There's no way in hell you believe both of those statements. If you want to say you're not scared of this, fine. You're tolerant tolerance of horror is better than mine. But don't give me this bullshit that this was better or a xenomorph was better. Xenomorphs don't scare me anymore, bro. We've been saturated by them. This creature looks like Gabe if he shaved his head, became a meth addict, and ran around hunting Aaron for the rest of his life. That is a terrifying thought. Think about it like this. You can't tell me these two don't look... come on, you can see it, right? You can see the likeness between these two. Look at the eyes, bro. This is a Gabe, bald, meth head running after you, crawling, making a terrible sound. That's a horror movie that you've never seen before. You can't tell me, honestly, that, oh, I just wanted to see, I would rather have just seen the xenomorph at the end rather than this weak-looking creature, and then at the same breath tell me, oh, this movie is a repeat of all the other stuff. You are the guys who want just another xenomorph film, okay? Let's get to the major theory that's going to break all of your minds, all right? Ridley Scott's Dark Messiah is this creature, the Antichrist. Okay? And you're wondering, how the hell did you... Daffy, how did you come to this conclusion? What the fuck are you even talking about? Alright? I'm gonna tell you. Okay? Let's start off. What is the Antichrist? He's a bastardization of the concept of Christ. He's the dark antithesis to that being. Alright? These were the ancient sect of engineers that came and gave us life. They sacrificed themselves in a Christ-like way to give us life. Okay? This is one sect of the engineers. This is another sect, the one we see in Prometheus, who are like the soldiers almost, who want to declare war on us and try to kill us, right? Now, if we go to Ridley Scott's quote in an interview, he actually likened the engineers to Christ. He was asked, okay, what are the comparisons? Could the engineers have been Jesus Christ, or God? And he said, yes. The engineers said, our children are misbehaving down there. Look at the war that they're causing. Look at the Romans going crazy, having sex with their own sisters and killing people. And we need to come down and help them and show them a different way. So let's send down one of our emissaries to see if we can stop it. And guess what? They crucified him. So somehow humans took that big hulking Chad and nailed them to a cross somehow. I don't know how. But Ridley Scott thought of this in his mind. In his mind, he had these engineers as Jesus Christ who got crossed, got killed and nailed to a cross, and then that was the sole motivation of the engineers going to war with us and trying to kill us with the variants of the pathogen, right? So in Ridley Scott's own mind, this is true. Now, he said he didn't include it in the film because it would have been too on the nose. But he and all the directors had it in their mind that was part of the lore, that these engineers would have been the predecessors and the guides that would come down to Earth as the Jesus Christ figure. Now, if you take all that into account, I don't know how humans are supposed to beat this guy in a fight, but somehow they did and put him on a cross. Our Jesus figure, or one of his kind in the sect of spiritual engineers, crossed with a human variant and the ambitions of humanity gone wrong. What do we get when we get a bastardized Christ? We get the Antichrist. Fede Alvarez connected both worlds together with this. There's a reason he made the design so close to like a malnourished engineer, gone rogue with meth. He wants to bastardize the original engineer and create the Dark Messiah, the creature that doesn't care about helping humanity like they did. He just wants to kill, and suck the dark fluid from the breasts of his own mother. He is a creature made of death, and he only serves death and himself. Now you could say the xenomorphs are the Antichrist instead, but I consider the xenomorphs actually death. Them as a concept is a Lovecraftian form of death. But yeah, this creature is the Dark Messiah to the original engineers, and that's why it's so perfect. Look at the quote. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Rook had good intentions when he made the pathogen, right? Granted, the company did corrupt stuff to get there, but it was made for the purpose of evolving mankind, granted, for slave labor, so I guess it wasn't good intentions, but what happens when you get bad intentions? What happens when you get bad intentions and you try to create something that you're not meant to mess with? You get hell. A spawn from hell. Look at this fucking thing. So, that's my stance. I think him as the Antichrist actually adds something as a concept to the overall franchise. He is Ridley Scott's Antichrist. He is the abomination that Ridley feared and wanted us to fear could happen from humans meddling with the concept they don't understand. So please, if you enjoyed that, if you agree with me now that yes, that does make it somewhat better because it fits in the nature of the lore, go watch my other video if you haven't seen it. and then come back and watch this, and your mind should be changed. If not, then I don't even know what to say at that point. Like and subscribe, folks.